But you can just see from where we started from, the old railway bridge going all the way over to the other side. I love the architecture though, right around underneath it, how you've got that steel going all the way across. But you can imagine back in the old days when this Harborne Railway went all the way down, and it also went over the BCM mainline itself. So when we get down to there, I might actually go down to that section and go and show it you. But here we are, it says a sign there, the Harborne Walkway. So it takes you onto the railway track where we used to go. And a nice little valley going into the distance, and it'll bring you out to some more sections. But let's go and explore it, but it's really cool seeing that. So there we go, one more view of the old railway bridge right away in front of me. So here we are onto the old railway line itself. You can just see a sign here saying Birmingham Canals, and that's actually where we're heading to. Right away down to the bottom is the view from where we're standing underneath. I'll just go and show you the old walls just onto the corner on the very top of the bridge. But you can imagine there's lots of history with this railway link in itself. Let's go and check it out. It does remind me of the South Staffordshire Railway Walk, and that one also dates back much of it. So I have got some information about the Harborne Railway itself. It says the Harborne Railway was a short standard gauge railway line constructed for the residential travel from Harborne area into the city of Birmingham. The line opened in 1874 and was worked by the London and North Western Railway. As business developed, an increasingly frequent passenger service was operated. At its peak, 30 trains each way daily. So in the 1920s and later, it suffered from road bus service competition, and it closed to passenger trains in 1934. Wow, really does date back a bit. Like the railway by me, the Harborne Railway section, the Darridell, when that closed. So the line became less frequently used, so they demolished the railway itself. A private signing collection had been made to Mitchells Butlers Brewery, but the line closed completely in 1963. So it does mention here about something about a conception. In 1866, Harborne was a distinct community outside Birmingham with a population of over 22,000. The Harborne Railway was planned to serve certain suburbs of Birmingham, bringing the business to people from the well-to-do areas of Lappel, near Halsowin and Harborne. However, there was a major opposition to the Lappel end of the scheme, and the promoters cut back their scheme to a route of just under 2.5 miles. The Harborne Railway Company got its Act of Parliament on the 28th of June 1866. Authorised capital was 100,000. Wow, you just see how much it was back then. And there's lots more information down onto here. But I will drop a link in the description, so if you're interested in reading more information about the Harborne Railway itself, I am going to do 2 videos on this, one with Adrian, who's got expertise and knowledge on the railway itself, and today I'm going to go and explore it and show you the route going all the way down. So let's get down the Harborne Railway and let's go and explore it. I'm going to have to say, what a beautiful section of Birmingham this is, how you've got all the trees. If I just pan around to show you, all the trees on the side going all the way down. And what's interesting about this railway walk is we've got the little tunnels and bridges right away to the bottom, and it does really remind me of the South Staffordshire Railway walk, and you'll see what I mean in a little while. But wow, this is one place what I've not really explored, and I wanted to come back to see it one more time. And when I do the second video, we'll cover more history about the place, because Adrian's got all the books, he's got all the knowledge on the railway itself. But you can just imagine what it was even used for: passenger services, maybe goods back in the days. And all the lines, I don't know whether they all linked up to all the sections like by me, and where the Dalrymple section is, because you imagine that one also dates really far back a bit. When I covered the video on that one, it was used to carry passengers, and it went all the way to the Austin Works in Longbridge. So they really do fascinate me, train lines though, because they're different from normal walks, because you can just vision what the train really went through back in the old days, and you can just definitely tell this was a train line because of the banks going all the way down, and you can see the banks on this corner. Some sections go really far down into a dip, and I'll show you what I mean in a little while. But I tell you what, it's absolutely freezing today. You can just really see winter is really here. I've got my gloves on, I've even got my big jacket on. I was thinking about putting a hat on, but I've got to wear a helmet because I'm on bike today for my safety, going across all the roads in the Selly Oak area. It's always safe to put your helmet on when riding bikes. But we should be coming up to some more little areas now, and hopefully coming to another tunnel section where the train went under many years ago. So right, if I just carefully park my bike onto the corner, I want to show you something very quickly, what I was on about earlier, how the line itself goes down in a steep valley. So it does really remind me of the Darry when you're walking on the line itself, what goes all the way to the top. But you can just see the little valley going right away to the bottom, just down to there. It really amazes me though how some of these train lines, when they went across, they're really high up and the banks go really steep down. It's not as steep on that corner, but you can just see that little valley to the bottom. We've got a stream running all the way down. I think that is actually called Chad Brook. So right, it is. Here's a Google map section of where we are at the moment. You can just see Chad Brook that runs all the way through Harborne Nature Reserve itself. So all the surrounding land you can see going right away to the back is the nature reserve. So it's also one point what I've never covered before. And then just further behind me over that way, there's tons of allotments according to Google Maps. So where we should be heading is even further than crossing under some bridges and tunnels. Wow, I'm going to have to say, where that Chad Brook is right away to the bottom, that valley going down the distance is really beautiful. You can get down to there, but I don't think I'm going to cycle down to it. But if I pan around to show you, you can just see it right away down there. So when I do come back with Adrian, we might actually cover down there and go and show you close to the Chad Brook itself. So here we are, we're at the first section for the Harborne Railway, where one of the very old bridges crosses right away over. So here we are, you just imagine how far this really does date back. It's got all the original brick, when the train used to run through here many years ago. I just do love looking at old bridges like this because it does give you a sense of the old past. And I know there is a few bridges down here what got filled in back in the old days, and I will show you evidence of that as I get closer to where the Birmingham Canal section is. So I think we passed through a park, and there is another one of these what got filled in with soil, so there is only showing the top end of it. But if I just carefully show you, goes really tall up to the ceiling. So it does remind me of some of these bridges on the South Staffordshire Railway line. You see right away to the top of the ceiling, up to there. So you can just sort of get a little bit of a better view of the side of the walls here. I mean how old they really are. And there we go, that's the first bridge what we've passed right away through. Pretty cool though. So right, let's go and journey on. We've got more stuff to show you. So we should be coming to some more of these, and there is one that I'm going to pass in a little while, which is a bit more longer than this, and it's much more darker. So wow, this is it. This is what Adrian was telling me about in the last visit. This little valley going right away to the bottom is so beautiful and impressive. He said he had something to show me. When he took me down to here, it really blew my mind because of the nature of what surrounds here. You can just see the bird life at the moment into the distance. Wow, there is something special about this. This is why I wanted to come back. It's just a beautiful bike ride today to come all the way through, you know, to start your day. Wow. It does give me really good vibes of a railway coming through here many years ago. Like I mentioned, how you've got the valley, how it splits off right to the two parts. Really cool. But you can just see what I mean, the valley going right away through, the cutting. But I must say though, when you look at the banks going right away to the top, it must have took a good while to cut all the way through this valley to go right to the bottom. But you can just see it's equal on both angles, right away there and also right away there. A really beautiful start to the winter period. So relaxing, I could spend hours listening to the wildlife. It's one of my favourite things. Really special. So right, as we pass through the valley itself, we've got another bridge coming right away up. So here we are, this is the next one passing all the way under. And I find it's pretty cool when you come underneath it, dark under it, you can just see it. And this is what I was on about, these old tunnels going underneath where the train come all the way through. I just think it's pretty cool. You can just see where the bike lights come into the floor. I mean, how this comes really narrow. I don't know whether this was actually here when the train was here. I think this is actually a modern part of it. But I think the original part was all the way here. Then they constructed this part going all the way through. But you just see how old the ceilings really are. Shame I haven't got much torch, but if I get my phone out quickly, you can just see this right away to the top of the ceiling. Well, I mean, check out that. It's really so old. But I don't know, it is making me wonder how old this really is. Is this actually a modern part to the tunnel itself? But if we come back to the old section, check out all this. You can just see how old the walls are leading all the way down. And then from this angle you can see from this area here. So I'm going to have to say it's pretty cool to see this. This is one of the things that I wanted to show you on the Harborne Railway. You can just really sense when the train used to come all the way through here. Pretty dark, and this is what I mentioned, one of the darkest tunnels going all the way down. Let's go and journey further down the Harborne Railway walk itself, and let's go and see what other things we can actually discover. So I think if I remember, I might be wrong, we've got a bridge here, when it comes past the little park, then it comes out to another section, so we're not too far away now from the Birmingham canals themselves. So this one's quite cool, the one we're passing under right away now. It's not a big one, but you can just see the architecture and design of it right away in front. But here we are, here's the next one, right away above. This is actually one that's actually similar to the bottom, what got filled in many years ago, but you can see the design of it right away there, how old it really is. And then the first one, what I showed you earlier, is actually similar to this one. You see, it's not that wide altogether, it's not that big. But you can just see the dark corners right away at the top from when the line was actually used back in the old days. But I'm going to have to say it's pretty cool to see these. What I'm going to do now is get the old Ordnance Survey maps up and actually show you the railway line itself from the very old view. But we can just see here it says L and NWR Harborne branch, what leads all the way through. We've got houses on either side on that section and also that section there. So some of the houses around here really do date back, and you can just see all the way across. We've got some more stuff right away back down there and something called Summerfield Park, which I think is right away down to the distance at the bottom. Oh, I was actually wrong. Check out this. There is actually another railway bridge. I thought that was the last one, but there's actually one more. I must say, what I find cool about this one is this section here going all the way down, how we've got a little bit of a pool forming, and then just right away in front we've got another railway bridge. Sort of similar to the last one, but it's actually a little bit more longer. So I'm not going to stop and film this one, but I'll pass right away underneath it. But you can just see the design one more time. It's all similar design bridges going all the way through, but you just see this one is a bit more longer. And then one more time, what I find cool, when the railway was even here, you can just see we've got all the hard rocks what go all the way through, especially on that side there, leading all the way down. No, I'm actually wrong again. There's actually another railway bridge just before we get into the park. Here we go. You see this one's really cool. If I had to stop to show you. So no, this bridge here, what goes all the way across, is a different design to the other ones, because if we look at the architecture going all the way across, zooming in you can see the style of the bricks going that way. Those are actually different patterns compared to the other ones. And what I have noticed underneath here, I guess it could be really old. If I zoom in, there's some very odd wires sticking all the way out onto that angle. And then from there, the train would have gone all the way through where the park section is, over to the other side, and then over to the Birmingham Canal section over the main line. So I am guessing there's probably a lot of history behind the park, what we're going to pass through right now. So we'll have a quick look before we get to the Birmingham Canal. So we'll see what more stuff we can see. But you can see we've passed under some gates right away there, the tunnel, and then into the beautiful park now, which stretches all the way around. So here we are from the sections from where we covered, now into some open area. You can see the park stretches all the way around to the back, but I'm going to stop here and tell you more about it in a little second. So here we are, the section what you can see all the way around us right away now. If I pan around, all of this is called Summerfield Park, stretching right away to the back. And it says here, Birmingham Town Council initially bought 6 hectares of its parkland to create Summerfield Park in 1876. The house itself was demolished some 10 years later and a bandstand built on the site. It says there, added to the park in 1890. The city's first bonfire carnival was held here in 1960, attended by 25,000 people. The park was extended in 1981 by the addition of the walkway along the former Harborne Railway. But you can just see from where I come from, all the way from the bottom, where the Harborne Railway starts. And where we are going all the way now is past the old Harborne Railway section, what went over the canal line. So there is a bits and pieces what have been lost, but I'll go and show you where they're actually located. So just onto that angle there, I will show you in a second. The train used to go underneath there because I filled it with soil. Under there, then over to the other side where that very old school is, onto the corner. So you can just see the lost sections of the Harborne Railway. So it used to stretch all the way from that angle there, from where we come from, all the way from the park. Then many years ago, all this was to store deep down under the ground, so it used to go straight under there. I'll photo on for you now so you can just see it. And then from this angle, you can just see the top of the railway bridge right away here. It's a shame they filled it in, but I heard there was numerous like vandalism and several things, so the council had to fill this in. But there's the bottom area of it right away there, leading all the way up. Very old brick, but I'm gonna have to say it's really cool to see this. But there's evidence more of the Harborne Railway, the lost sections of it. And here we are on the final section on the Birmingham Canal main line, where the Harborne Railway crossed over the canal itself and went to the other side. Just right around the middle of the Birmingham Canal, you can just see the brick going right away to the top. This is actually the support for the bridge itself going over the canal, and the railway used to come from right away above me, from over there, over onto this section here, then onto the other side. So once more, it's really cool to see this and to show you the final section before we end the video. Just zooming in, we can just see some little things there, some very old like loops coming out of raw metal. This makes me wonder, the Harborne Railway, was there two sections leading from one side to the other, but you can just see there. So that might have been another section going right away to this corner, and then another section from there. Really don't know, so it'd be cool to know how many train sections were on this bridge itself going all the way to the other side of the canal. There we go, really enjoyed showing you the Harborne Railway walk, coming all the way from Selly Oak, down the paths and to end at the Birmingham Canal itself. So I've got a nice little journey home now, so I'm going to go all the way down the main line, head all the way through Netherton Tunnel and back home, so it's been absolutely fantastic. But one more view of the old bridge support going all the way over, and I will come back with Adrian and we'll cover more history of the Harborne Railway. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it and showing your new fantastic route going all the way through to the Birmingham sections itself. See you soon for Midlands Outdoors out.